Lately, my fatigue has been terrible, and this is what always happens whenever I'm indoors for extended periods of time. I know this about myself. I know that this is always what's going to happen, but the thing is, there is literally nowhere to walk around where I live. I was living in a very, very walkable city and area when I had my job, and when I stopped going to my job and stopped working, I had to go to a different city that is not walkable or navigatable for someone without a vehicle in any way, shape, or form. And so I'm in this situation now where, like, I just kind of aimlessly play video games or watch anime that I don't really like, or read, or consume some other form of media for like little intervals, uh, one after another, flipping back and forth from each thing. I feel like I'm extremely tired whenever I'm doing this, but I'm just kind of making myself do it because the will to actually do the thing is seemingly what counts for me. Um, because I know that if I just make myself do this thing that I like to do, I'm gonna feel better than just laying around tired. But like, my tiredness and fatigue is still going to be a factor. So it's like I'm battling with these two parts of myself. The one part of me that's really tired from not walking around, not getting around, and doing this stuff that fills me with energy, and the part of me that really likes to do the stuff that I like to do, but also needs to have like physical and cognitive stamina to be able to do those things in the first place. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And that was the trade off that I knew that I had to make in order to, um, go back to being unemployed, um, to go back to a less alienated lifestyle than the one I was living, where I was just working really, really heavy hours constantly, like less hours than I was working before, a more manageable position than I was working before, but nonetheless, like really heavy labor that was wearing on me, especially without sleep, and especially in light of my concussion. And I just said, fuck it, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. And now I'm in this situation where, um, like, it, yeah, I mean, I just, if that was what was going to happen, then I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do certain basic things like walk around and pay attention to my health as far as physical activity is concerned, because there is just literally nowhere to walk to in the place that I'm forced to live in as a result of not having a job to support myself. Um, so that's where I'm at now. And it's interesting to me because um, I remember like the last time I was in a peculiar situation like this, like when I was in Wisconsin, and I just quit my job in Wyoming. I was looking for a job in Wisconsin, and I was basically just laying in bed in my Airbnb at the time, sleeping for like 18 hours a day, um, without any energy whatsoever, just incredibly depressed. Like I was at a really low point at that time, just going on Indeed constantly, like, adding every single job that I possibly could. And at the same time that I was doing this, I was like messaging my friends at the time about these nostalgic feelings I had about being unemployed and having no obligations. I really like like just bemoaned living in the way that I was, and and spoke with really rose tinted glasses about just playing video games constantly, and a life of consumption and zero responsibilities. And people correctly pointed out to me that I was doing that and that I needed to have a more balanced mindset. But I was just like, I need to focus on myself right now. My mental health is in shambles. I can't do this. So, I had kind of a psychotic break and I went home. And, it was different this time. This time I was working really hard. I had a much more balanced mindset and I think a better work-life balance, and I was thinking in a more rational way. I was taking much better care of myself. In general, my attitude towards the things I was doing was more mature. So there was definite progression there. And when I ended up weighing like what I was going to do versus what I wasn't going to do, it ended up coming down to like a conclusion that felt more balanced as well. This time I wasn't going back to like this mystical life of zero responsibilities whatsoever where everything is amazing and rainbows and sunshine. I knew that I was going to a lifestyle where there are some definite, physical and mental drawbacks that I will ultimately incur as a trade-off for the physical and mental drawbacks that I will ultimately incur for, having to work the kind of jobs that take me. I'm in this strange situation right now, where, I would like to continue not having these obligations and not having them weigh on me, not having them weigh on my ability to sleep, making it to where I'm not getting sleep during the night or I'm only getting a few hours of sleep during the night. But at the same time, I would like to have my own income and be able to live in a place where I can actually walk around, and feel some independence, and move, but with my situation as it is right now, that isn't really available to me.